At the end of a troubled week, the Sydney Roosters had to get their minds back on the business of playing football. And there's no better way of restoring pride and morale than toppling the team that wears the crown at your expense. The Dragons, minus an injured Mark Gasnier, were hell-bent on avoiding an unthinkable fourth straight defeat. And not surprisingly, they resorted to their trusty left side.
On to Cooper. Cooper's over in the corner. Does he ground the ball?
There was no evidence to support Cooper's claim, and video ref Russell Smith sent it back to the middlemen, who ruled that the seasoned centre was held up. One South Coast product might have missed out, but another one who doesn't get too many chances was right on the money.
And there it goes, there's a try for Riles. He celebrates 199 games, and his first one back here at Wollongong since 2008 with a try.
If that wasn't a big enough shock, then what transpired 2.5 minutes later was certainly enough to leave the locals sitting in silence.
Goes on with it, they've got numbers, and the winner scores, Phil Graham. Philip Graham has scored. It was a simple case of the dummy half adding the numbers to the blind side after a quick count.
It was 10-0 to the rank outsiders, who were gleefully exploiting St George Illawarra's lethargy and lack of commitment.
Did he get it down?
Graham came within millimetres of snatching a first-half double. But less than 60 seconds later came a significant turning point.
Off his right foot and he flicks through. Now the captain's in the clear. Here comes Boyd. He passed maybe a fraction early. And Boyd held by Minicello. Now he loses the ball.
Anthony Minicello was marched for 10 minutes, and the severity of that contentious call was magnified soon after when Trent Merrin put on his best ballet move.
It's his young dummies and passes, and it's Trent Merrin who scored.
Yeah, have a look at the move here by the big number 15, Trent Merrin.
After being denied earlier, Cooper took a much different route to the try line, this time off the boot of Nathan Feen.
Drops it out of Perrin's wing. Perrin's wing, I should say. The Dragons have got a try. Cooper's got the try. Cooper's got the try this time.
Despite their indifference, it was the Dragons who had the upper hand at the midway mark, 12-10. Beau Scott thought he was in the WWE when he applied this unusual choker hold on Braithen Astor. The Saints' second rower was reported for a grapple, and from the tap kick that followed, Big Mossy Maso crashed across to put the tricolours back in front.
Oh, there's a try. I think from Masoy, is it?
It is.
The embattled Bondi boys had a sniff of bringing off a monumental upset and carved out a couple of healthy chances that didn't quite materialise. But it wasn't until this frenetic passage of play with just over 10 to go that they took their lead out beyond a converted try.
Went to ground, put on the foot by Pearce, play on for Jake Friend, ball to ground, picked up by Pearce, he kicks across the field, Australian rule style, lay lower for the corner, lay lower scores!
The Premiers still had enough time to pull it off, however the harder they tried, the worse things got. And their awful display was capped off by the rarest of rugby league occurrences.
Oh, he's given a penalty.
Now, he's got to put it in with two hands, but Dean Young doesn't know that. He just puts it in with one hand, and the referee's quite within his rights.
The Chooks thought they had finished with another four-pointer. However, Brad Takarangi was deemed to have tackled Ben Hornby in the air. It made no difference to the outcome, though, with Wayne Bennett's men blowing a wonderful opportunity to snare fourth spot, while the Rooster is crowing loudly once more, following one of the most stirring triumphs in this great foundation club's recent history. David Rowlands, Big Pond Sport.